because of the support on the last vid race a new part. The next morning, after completing his morning rituals, Naruto was on his way to an early squad meeting. Upon arriving he as usual awaited with both his teammates for 2 whole hours, until Kakashi arrived. "Yo!" Kakashi greeted them. "You better have a real reason why you're late this time, sensei." Naruto crossed his arms. "Yeah, why'd we have to meet extra early?" Sakura groaned, while rubbing some sleep out of her eyes. "Well, I called you all here early, because I wanted to give you these." The Jonin held out 3 forms for them. After receiving them, Sasuke gasped, "Wait a minute, these are Chunin exam admission forms." Sakura gasped. "That's right," Kakashi confirmed, "you are to fill these out and bring them to the Ninja Academy 2 days from now." "This is amazing," Naruto said in excitement. "Yes. Well, think wisely on this, you guys," Kakashi instructed and took off. Naruto looked to his team, the Chunin exams. "How about that, guys? It's supposed to gather some of the best shinobi in the nations," Sakura added. "A perfect chance to hone our skills and meet other ninja with distinct abilities," Sasuke put in. "Well, I'm gonna join for sure," Naruto said. "I'll catch you all later." He took his leave, and one by one the others did as well. He arrived back home, and saw Azimuth tinkering with his pod. "Hey, Azimuth." Azimuth nearly bumped his head, before groaning. He looked over at the boy. "What is it, Naruto?" "Me and my team have just been nominated for the Chunin exams," he cheered. "The Chunin exams, huh?" Azimuth asked. "Very interesting. In the event it's the chance for genin shinobi to move up in ranks, and gain new experience as well." "I know. I can't wait to put my skills to the test against whoever is there." Naruto rubbed his hands with excitement. "Don't get ahead of yourself, Naruto," Azimuth warned him. "I've done studies on this exam and it's no walk in the park." "I can believe that." "Then you must also believe that the nations send only their best shinobi to compete. Then it's a good thing I have the OmniTrix, right?" "I have yet to give you permission to use the OmniTrix," Azimuth reminded him, and Naruto pouted. "However, there will be a time you will eventually be forced to use it in combat. So I will allow you usage in the Chunin exams when the time is right." "And how will I know when the time is right?" Naruto asked impatiently. "I will tell you, Naruto. You can trust me." Naruto only sighed in impatience, until Azimuth continued, "However, I do have some other aliens I can unlock for you that could also be helpful." "Really?" Naruto brightened up. Azimuth nodded. "While the 10 you have are indeed powerful, there will be obstacles there that only other aliens in the OmniTrix can deal with better than others can." "Like what?" the blonde wondered. "That's what I plan to teach you," Azimuth answered. "Let's go to the training field." Naruto nodded, as he put Azimuth in his pocket and headed off. When they arrived at the training ground, Naruto picked Azimuth out of his pocket and placed him on a boulder. "Okay, so now what?" the boy asked. "Show me the OmniTrix, Naruto," the Galvan instructed, as Naruto held out the watch. Azimuth activated it and started turning the dial in certain codes before he finished. "There. I've just unlocked 6 new aliens." "6, huh? Well, which ones do I have access to now?" "Allow me to show you with the first one." Azimuth turned the dial to 1, and Naruto activated it. Where Naruto stood now stood a white, bulky alien with stubby arms and legs, yellow shell-like plating on its back, wrists, legs, and shoulders. The OmniTrix symbol was embedded on the chest. "Whoa, what's this one?" Naruto asked. "You are an Arburian Pelorotas, a race that once hailed from the peaceful planet Arburia," Azimuth explained. "Once hailed?" "Yes. Sadly it was conquered and destroyed. However, over the years more Arborians came out of hiding and repopulated on another planet. So what can this alien do? Naruto asked, while taking a wobbly step. Ben's alien hero Cannonbolt has the ability to curl into a ball and roll at high speeds, ricochet, and bounce much like a cannonball. And the shell is highly durable, able to withstand just about any attack. But they do have difficulty when slowing down as they're on a roll, and can get trapped in sticky surfaces. I see. Since we're pressed for time before the Chunin exams begin, you will also take this time to learn how to use their abilities. Azimuth added. I understand. Cannonbolt said, as he began learning how to use the alien's abilities. Soon enough Cannonbolt was rolling all over the terrain, leaving a trail. Eventually the OmniTrix timed out, and Cannonbolt was Naruto again. Whoa, that was some somersault. Naruto said dizzily. You'll get the hang of it. Azimuth answered. How did Ben acquire some of these extra aliens after discovering the first 10? The ninja inquired. Ben was able to unlock some of them through mere fiddling, others he was able to scan the DNA of. This thing can copy the DNA of other aliens. Naruto gasped. Yes. Sweet. Naruto cheered. When the OmniTrix was ready, Naruto selected the next new alien, and suddenly became a plant-like alien with 4 legs, 4-fingered claws, Venus flytrap-shaped flaps covering their heads, and a single green eye. The OmniTrix symbol was present on a white and green belt wrapped around the waist. Am I a plant? He asked. A florona to be precise, Azimuth answered, though Ben referred to them as wild vines. These plant aliens are capable of growing, regenerating, and retracting. They can also control other plant life around them and merge with the ground surface itself. Among other offensive abilities they have include the ability to use their fingers as vines to restrain anything they deem a threat, and the seeds they grow on their backs contain various substances they can throw at their opponents. Okay, let's see what it can do. Wildvine said, as he took a seed from his back and threw it at a stump. When the seed exploded, the stump started rotting. Neat. Now let's try another. He extended his fingers and was able to grab hold of a branch and was able to lift himself up to the tree. This is cool. No way anything like this exists on this planet. Elsewhere, a guy with a body part black and part white who also had a Venus flytrap flaps on his shoulders sneezed. Gesundheit, a voice came from the dark side. Arigato, the white side answered. Back with Azimuth and Wildvine, the transformed ninja was getting used to the plant abilities that came with the alien until the OmniTrix timed out. When it was recharged, Naruto used it again to become the next alien. The alien had the appearance of a werewolf with gray fur, a long flowing mane, a large bushy tail, and 4 sharp claws on each hand and foot. He wore a green suit, collar, and green wristbands. The OmniTrix was located on the collar above his fur. Hey, I'm another dog alien, he spoke. You are a Loboan, Azimuth answered, much like a Vulpimancer all your senses, reflexes are increased, but you can also emit a powerful ultrasonic howl from your muzzle. Naruto did so as his quadra-hinged mouth opened and unleashed said howl form it at a tree, causing it to topple. Awesome. What did Ben name this one? Actually, he didn't name this one until he was 16. Many had called him Benwolf, before he decided to name him Blitzwolfer. Blitzwolfer it is. I mean, I'd have to be an idiot to name this form Naruto Wolf, he laughed. Quite so. Azimuth agreed, as Naruto continued to practice using Blitzwolfer's abilities. When the OmniTrix timed out, Azimuth spoke up. I should tell you the Loboan alien was the first DNA Ben scanned with the OmniTrix. Really? Yes. A Loboan and 2 other aliens were under the order of Z's Scare to help his master in blocking out the sun so that the planet would be in the dark forever. Azimuth explained. Whoa. Naruto gasped. But as always, Ben, Gwen, and Max were able to stop them. Azimuth assured him. Naruto nodded, and soon the OmniTrix was activated again. He transformed into a mummy-like alien, with a black pharaoh head dress with two glowing green gaps on both sides, and a gold rimming at the bottom. His upper chest and shoulders were covered by a large collar/wrap-like garment with green and black stripes, black and gold pads on each shoulder, with each one having a green eye on them, black and green braces and greaves with gold rimmings, and the OmniTrix was on a green and white belt around his waist. "What's this thing?" Naruto asked, as he looked at himself. "You are a Thepkufin, an alien species that resemble what the people of Earth refer to as mummies," Azmuth began. "Snarl, like the rest of its species, can reshape his body at will, allowing you to split yourself apart to dodge attacks and reform to counter-attack using your own wrappings to bind enemies. But due to the bandages making up your body being paper-like, they have limits to how much tension is forced on it until they break. So I just have to make sure if I use this one in combat my enemies aren't super strong," Snarl said, and began practicing with the alien using his extendable wrapping limbs to swing around the trees and wrapping stuff up. After the OmniTrix timed out, Naruto waited until it was ready again. The next alien he transformed into was a big hulking alien with black hair, stitches and seams in the torso, two green conductor coils sticking out of his back, green gauntlets, greenish-black pants, copper boots, a green belt with white stripes and bolts in them. And the OmniTrix symbol was embedded in the flesh of his right pectoral, with several deep scars protruding from where it resides. "Whoa, this alien is sure ugly," Naruto admitted. "Hideous, yes, but very powerful," Azmuth explained. "Explain." "Transaliens are very strong and can control electrical energy and shooting them. In this form Ben was called Frankenstrike," Azmuth explained. "Well, let's take this guy for a test." Frankenstrike was charging up energy and started blasting posts. Wow. Talk about power. Naruto continued practicing as Frankenstrike, until the OmniTrix timed out. After the recharge, Azmuth spoke. "This will be the last unlocked alien for you to use." "Okay, then," Naruto said, as he slammed onto the OmniTrix and transformed into a humanoid frog-like species that had a swampy green body, a tan belly and muzzle, black digits, and black-green spots on its tail, limbs, hips and back, sharp and pupil-less eyes, and sharp canine teeth outside the bottom of his mouth forming an underbite. The OmniTrix was visible on his torso. "What's this thing?" he asked. "You are an gourmand, a muck type to be precise. Ben refers to them as upchucks," Azmuth began. "These creatures can eat just about anything inorganic from rock, metal, trees. They can then spit out what they devoured into a sphere of exploding acid, or slime. In this form you could eat more ram than you are already capable of." He humored him. "No kidding?" Naruto/Upchuck asked in joy. "Well, I better get to work on using this guy." He started consuming stuff all around from rocks, stumps, etc. before spitting them out into acid blasts. When his training was done, Azmuth spoke. "You learned to use your new aliens quite well for one day. And we'll continue to practice more with each of them tomorrow." "Thanks, Azmuth," Naruto smiled. "Well, this Chunin exams will be just what I need for some experience, and put my alien boys to the test." He pumped his OmniTrix strapped fist up with enthusiasm, as Azmuth watched him while filled with hope. It was the morning of the beginning of the Chunin exams. Naruto got up, got ready, and slipped into his clothes. He called out, "Azmuth, I'm heading out." When he heard no response he called again, "Azmuth? Wonder where he went? Well, I'm sure he's okay. Don't wanna be late," Naruto said, as he took off while unaware of Azmuth hitching a ride in his pants pocket. Naruto arrived at the old ninja academy where he found his team waiting. "Hey, guys. You all ready?" "Uh-huh," Sakura confirmed. "Always," Sasuke added. "Then let's go." Naruto said, as the three walked in. They walked the hall before noticing a crowd of shinobi trying to get into a room blocked by two other shinobi. If you can't even get past us, why even bother wanting to take the Chunin exams? One of the blockers mocked, as the crowd argued. Naruto and Sasuke approached, as the blonde began, "Listen, everyone, you're all wasting your breath with these guys." The others looked at him in confusion, as Sasuke continued. "This isn't the room we're supposed to be in. It's all an illusion." Sasuke put in, while motioning to Sakura, who caught on what he wanted her to do. "Yeah. See," she dispelled the genjutsu on the room's number to see it wasn't the right room like they said. "Well, sorry you two, but we'll all be going now," Naruto told the two ninja blocking their way. As they walked, they were stopped by another team. One of the boys had a soup bowl haircut, and wore a green leotard. The second boy had the same eyes as Hinata, and the girl of the team had her hairstyle done up in panda ear buns. "That was impressive the way you saw through the illusion," the Hyuga boy began. "Well, thanks, but it was nothing," Naruto admitted. "Besides, someone had to call it out," Sasuke added. "Come on you guys, let's go," Sakura said, as the three walked past the team, as Naruto glanced at the girl of the other team. The girl in response to his stare couldn't help but look a little pink in the face. As Squad 7 made their way upstairs, they walked into a training area, until a voice called out to them, "Hold it." They stopped, and saw standing on a catwalk was the soup bowl haircut boy from the team downstairs. He jumped down to their level and landed gracefully. "I am Rock Lee, and you must be Sasuke Uchiha," he addressed Sasuke. "I am," Sasuke answered. "I have always been told the Uchiha clan was a clan of prodigies," Lee began. "I wish to see if that is true. I challenge you to a spar." "A spar?" Naruto and Sakura asked. "I accept," Sasuke answered. "Sasuke, we don't have time for this," Sakura reminded him. "She's right, we're pressed for time," Naruto added. "Don't worry, guys. It won't take long," Sasuke replied, as he and Lee got into stances. So the two began fighting, with Sasuke using his Sharingan to read Lee's taijutsu moves. As Naruto and Sakura watched in shock, Azimuth watched from the pocket looking amazed at the two fighters. Though Sasuke looked like he had the upper hand, Lee was moving faster and suddenly was taking hold of the fight. When Lee was about to use his next move, something caught his leg. Both Lee and Sasuke saw an adult man who looked like an older version of Lee, only with a Chunin vest on. "All right, that's enough," he began. "Lee, don't you think you were overdoing it?" "I'm sorry, Sensei. I was caught up in the moment," Lee apologized. "Sensei?" Sakura and Naruto gasped, as Azimuth watched from the pocket and gawked at the adult. Eyebrows the alien thought in repulse. The adult turned to Squad 7, "So you must be Kakashi's pupils, am I right?" "That's right. Do you know Sensei?" Sakura asked. "Oh, I know Kakashi all right. I am Might Guy, and he and I are rivals for life," he declared. "Guy Sensei, your flames of youth burn brighter than always," Lee cried. "Lee! Guy Sensei!" The two suddenly were standing before a sunrise, and embraced like a father and son. Both were unaware of Squad 7 watching with repulse like Azimuth, who looked ready to puke. As the two left, Naruto and Sakura looked at Sasuke. "Sasuke, are you alright?" "Yeah, you looked like you were about to take a beating at the end," Naruto added. Sasuke smirked. "Don't worry about me. That was actually a great experience. I can't wait to see what other kind of opponents we'll be meeting here." Sakura and Naruto smiled, as the blonde spoke. "In that case, let's get going." "Yeah." Sasuke nodded, as they continued on until spotting their sensei standing before the entrance of the assigned room. "Sensei?" they asked. "Hi, guys. I just came to see you off before you go. Kakashi answered, I taught you all I could up to this point, and now I want you to go out there and show the competition what splendid shinobi I trained. Sure. Naruto answered, as the others nodded. When Kakashi took his leave, the three genin opened the doors and entered the room. What they discovered was the room cluttered with shinobi their age and some being older and from multiple nations. The three stood seeing all the shinobi staring at them with looks that could make one wet their pants. Naruto spoke to his team humorously, behold our competition. Sakura and Sasuke looked at the whole group, until a voice called out, Sasuke. Clinging to him was Ino Yamanaka, an old classmate of theirs from the academy. I was wondering when you'd show up, she flirted, while Sasuke looked disturbed. Sakura growled, hands off, porker. They let you in here too, Ms. Billboard brow. Ino mocked, as Sakura frowned. Could you two seriously not fight when we just got here? Naruto asked rhetorically. Ino looked over in surprise, Naruto. Who did you expect? No one, it's just almost didn't recognize you without all the orange. Yeah, but I figured green and black are more my style, he admitted. Before Ino could respond, her two teammates Shikamaru and Chuji approached. Even you guys are here? Shikamaru asked with a groan, geez, this is troublesome. Well, nice to see you too, Shikamaru, same with you, Chuji. Naruto greeted them. Right back at ya. Chuji agreed, before taking a bite out of a chip. Well, looks like the whole gang's back together again. A voice called, as Naruto noticed Hinata with her teammates Kiba and Shino. Feels like it's been a long time. Naruto admitted. Kiba looked at Naruto, what's with the new clothes, Naruto? Just some new threads. Felt like a change up, he admitted. Well, new clothes doesn't mean you're a better ninja. Kiba warned him. I didn't say they did, Kiba. Naruto answered smugly. He's right, you know. Shino noted, as Kiba grumbled. Hey, there, a voice called, as they looked over seeing a silver-haired bispectacle Konoha shinobi about a few years older than them. I take it you're all rookie genin fresh out of the academy. How did you know? Hinata asked. Because those who go making a spectacle of themselves clearly don't know the first thing about these exams. Oh, yeah, says who? Kiba asked, knowing that was directed at him. Me. My name's Kabuto Yakushi, and I've taken these exams long enough to know how to survive and not get on anyone's bad side this early. You've taken this before, how many times? Sakura inquired. 7 actually. If that's so, then the Chunin exams are harder than we were let on. Naruto noted. That's just great. Shikamaru sighed. Listen, you seem like a nice bunch of kids. So how about I give you some inside information, my ninja info cards, he said before pulling out a deck of cards. What are those? Ino asked. Ninja cards I record information on containing data I've gathered these last few years. He pulled out one card and made data appear on it. This one here shows how many shinobi are entered in this year's exams and which nation they're from. Sasuke spoke up, do your cards have information on individual applicants? Kabuto's eyes shifted to Sasuke, oh, have you got someone in mind? I might, he answered. Well, I can't guarantee they're flawless, but I do have info on just about every applicant. Including you guys. Naruto flinched at that and spoke, how up to date are you applicant cards? I'd say about up to the point when the Chunin exams were told they would be held here a couple days ago. Kabuto answered. Naruto was still wondering if he had information on him, would the OmniTrix be included on it, but knew he could have that info since he never used it in front of anyone, and made sure when he practiced with it no one was around. So who have you got in mind? Kabuto inquired from Sasuke. Rock Lee of Konoha. Naruto spoke up, while you're looking up applicants, give me some info on Sabaku Nogara. Can you do that? Not a problem, Kabuto answered, as he went through his deck and drew 2 cards. First we have Rock Lee. He revealed the information on the shinobi. He's a shinobi a year older than all of you with an experience of 11 C rank missions and 20 D rank missions. Though he has no experience in ninjutsu or genjutsu, he makes up for that with his impressive taijutsu skills. Squad leader Might Guy, and his teammates are Tenten and Niji Hyuga. Naruto squinted across the room where Lee's team was, and spotted Tenten, so her name's Tenten. Hey, it's that Kumo team from before, he thought as he spotted Samui, Amwa, and Karui in the crowd. Kabuto took the next card and uncovered Gaara's data. Sabaku no Gaara, a Suna shinobi with a mission experience of 8 C ranks and 1 B rank. The only other information I got on him is that on every mission he's ever been on, he hasn't been injured or scratched at all. Naruto and the shinobi were surprised at that bit of data, while Azimuth just listened in from inside the pocket. My suspicions about Gaara being trouble are true, Naruto thought. That feeling I was getting around him is further backed up by that piece of information. Since Azimuth wouldn't give me an answer about whether he really does have a demon inside him. Looks like I'll have to truly find out for myself somehow. Suddenly he was broken out of his thoughts, as he and everyone saw a group of Konoha shinobi appear in the room, with a tall intimidating man standing before them. Alright, shut up all of you, he ordered, as everyone froze. Listen up. I'm Ibiki Marino and I will be your first proctor for the Chunin exams. Everyone line up and turn in your application. We'll then give you one of these seating assignment cards. When everyone is seated, we will hand out the written tests. Naruto suddenly gasped and thought, written tests. I am so screwed. Azimuth, hearing about Ibiki say written tests, thought to himself, I knew it. Naruto and every other competitor for the Chunin exams were sitting in assigned seats with test sheets turned face down, and waited for Ibiki the proctor to explain. For this test you will be required to answer 10 questions, however only 9 are present on the sheet. I will give you the 10th question when time is up. Now let me discuss the rules, Ibiki began, as the competitors were confused about there being rules for a written test. You will be graded as a whole squad, so if one of you fails miserably you will bring your whole squad down and be forced to leave. And if any of you are foolish enough to be caught cheating 3 times by any of the sentinels here, you will be asked to leave and take your squad with you. You have exactly 1 hour to complete your test. If there are no questions you may turn your sheet over and begin. And with that the participants turned their sheets over and got straight to work. Naruto thought to himself, I'd feel a lot better taking a written exam if I could go gray matter, but I can't. Okay, I'll just have to do my best. I mean, how hard could this be compared to the written part of the academy exam? He asked himself before turning his sheet over and looked over the questions, while looking confused. Wait a minute, this can't be right. How do they expect genin rookies like me and the guys to actually answer questions like these? I mean, we didn't even know it was going to be a written part for the first time, so how could we have studied what we didn't even know? There has to be more to it than what he said. He suddenly recalled what Ibiki said about cheating. Wait a minute, if we're foolish enough to be caught. So he wants us to cheat? Unbelievable. I hope the others realize this. Across the room many of the shinobi had caught on and were using their own ninja abilities from secret type of jutsu, bloodlines, and etc. to steal answers from another. Naruto thought, now I really wish I could go gray matter, but that's too big an obvious cheat if I suddenly transformed. Suddenly he felt something moving into his right sleeve before seeing Azimuth's head pop out front it while hiding under his palm. Azimuth, he thought, only to see the Galvan quietly shush him, and held onto the bottom of his writing tool. Naruto caught onto what Azimuth was trying to do and slightly smirked. He pretended he was writing, as Azimuth was the one guiding the writing tool to write out the answers, while hiding underneath Naruto's hand. Now all Naruto had to do was hope Ibiki nor any of the sentinels would catch him. Number 27, you're out. A sentinel called, as the participant got up and left with his squad. Naruto and Azimuth continued to work fast, until the hour was up, while multiple other shinobi were dismissed from being caught cheating. All writing materials down. Ibiki announced, as everyone did so. Before I give the 10th question, I am giving you the option to choose to take it. But if you don't, then you are forced to leave. Suddenly the participants started raising their voices in outrage, until the proctor bellowed, "Shut up." They stopped cold, but if you decide to take it and fail, then you can never take the Chunin exams again. The choice is now up to you. Suddenly multiple participants dropped out from fear and took their squads with them. Naruto started shaking, as Azimuth could tell what was going through his mind and thought. This is now all up to you, Naruto. What choice will you make, you and your squad? When he saw Naruto slowly lift his left hand up, he sighed, I guess I expected too much of you, Naruto. Suddenly he was brought out of his thoughts when he slammed his hand onto the table, startling everyone. No, he announced. Ibiki raised a brow. Is there something you'd like to say? Yeah. If you think I'm gonna let you scare me away, well, you better think again. Naruto called him out. Even if I fail, that still won't stop me from becoming Hokage one day. So bring on the 10th question. After hearing Naruto's speech, his teammates felt impressed with his bout of confidence and courage along with everyone else in the class. Azimuth thought to himself, well, how about that? He smiled in pride. Across from the room, Samui looked over. He's definitely an odd one. Much like Sensei, she cracked a small smile. Ibiki looked around at who was left and spoke, well, then all I have left to say is, congratulations for passing the first portion of the Chunin exams. Suddenly the competitors were confused. We passed. Amwa asked. But the 10th question? Tamari wondered. It was all a ploy to see what kind of choice you would make when put under pressure. Ibiki suddenly looked at the window as something crashed through it, startling everyone. It revealed a flag with the name Anko Mitarashi written on it, and a woman wearing a trench coat over a fishnet bodysuit announced, listen up, brats. I'm Anko Mitarashi and I'll be your second proctor for the Chunin exams. Hope you're ready for some blood. Everyone was surprised, while Azimuth face-palmed at this woman's actions. Ibiki spoke up dryly, Anko, you're early again. Anko gawked before arguing, well, maybe if you weren't so slow I wouldn't be considered early. Well, we can't do anything about it now. Ibiki sighed. Anko looked back at the remaining competitors. Ibiki, you're getting soft with your techniques. Or did it ever occur to you we may actually have better candidates? Ibiki challenged her. Well, I'll fix that, she smirked, before addressing everyone, all right, listen up. Tomorrow you'll be given the location of where the second stage of the exams will take place. So I suggest you all rest up, because tomorrow may be your last day, she smirked, before exiting the window with her flag. Everyone else took their leave, as Azimuth pulled himself back into Naruto's sleeve to stay hidden. When Naruto got back to his apartment, he plopped onto his bed, as Azimuth came out through the sleeve. The blonde spoke, Azimuth, you saved my ass today. Well, don't get too comfortable with it. You won't always have someone to save you. Azimuth warned him. Though why were you in my sleeve in the first place? Did you hitch a ride on me this morning? I did. I've done my own follow-up on these exams and knew the first portion required gathering information, he explained, since I knew you would have no way of finding answers without being discovered or smart enough without using your Galvan transformation, I decided to aid you. Though I am not exactly one for cheating, it was part of the objective. However, from this point on it'll have to be you to overcome whatever these exams throw at you. But remember, you have teammates who will help you. Right, Azimuth? Naruto nodded. But for now rest up, For tomorrow I know you will be facing worse dangers than a plain old written test. I can only imagine. Naruto nodded. Later that night, somewhere in the village, 3 AIM shinobi who were staying at one of Konoha's inns during their stay were wide awake, as one of them pulled out a mechanical device that projected an image of some shrouded figure. Report, the figure ordered. Infiltration of the Chunin exams was a success, sir, the one said. No one suspected us. Good. And have you found it? Negatory, we've spotted no traces of it all day. The figure growled, well, keep your eyes peeled. Because if it really is there I want it. I will not repeat the mistakes and failures of those who came before me. Yes, my lord, the shinobi answered, as they ended transmission. One of the other shinobi asked the head of them, is he even sure the OmniTrix is worn by someone in the Chunin exams? The lead turned to face the one with firm eyes, you dare to question our superior. I'm just saying, what if it's someone normal around here? You will keep those opinions to yourself, and trust the master, the lead warned him. The third spoke, if you two are done yapping then we should turn in. Tomorrow's the second stage, and we need to be prepared. The two nodded, and all 3 of them turned in with only their mission on their mind. When the sun rose up, Naruto woke up and saw what time it was. Whoa, better get ready. He jumped out of bed and went for the bathroom. He soon came out dressed in his usual clothing, and had a quick breakfast. After he finished, he saw Azimuth standing on his dresser. Are you all prepared, Naruto? He asked. Yes, Azimuth. I am. Naruto answered. Good. Then you must hurry to the rendezvous point with your team. Right. Naruto was about to head out, until Azimuth spoke up. Wait. Naruto stopped in track looking impatient. Before you go, Naruto, I must warn you of what your competition may throw at you should you be in. You will be forced to fight for not only your life, but your teammates' lives. I know. Naruto nodded. Which is why I am now giving you permission to use the OmniTrix out in the open, the Galvan continued. Naruto's eyes widened in surprise, really? Azimuth nodded, but remember, there is only so much the OmniTrix can do, you must also remember your own ninja abilities. Naruto nodded, I will. Azimuth-sensei. Azimuth was taken aback by Naruto's words, and watched him take his leave. He thought to himself, Azimuth-sensei has a nice ring to it. Later on, Naruto, his team, and all the other Chunin exam participants stood outside a dark thick forest blocked off by gates. Anko Mitarashi approached, and spoke up, welcome, challengers, to the Forest of Death. Here will be the setting for part 2 of the Chunin exams. Naruto looked deep into the forest knowing it's the perfect setting for him to try out his aliens against any opponent who he may end up fighting. He was brought out of his thoughts as Anko explained things. In that forest you and your squads will be pitted against your competition, but fighting will not be the only thing you will be doing in there. She pulled out 2 scrolls each labeled, each squad will be given either a heaven scroll or an earth scroll. Your objective is obtain the scroll you do not have from any of your competition before you can reach the building in the forest's center point. Only there you will be allowed to open your scrolls. Open them before you have both scrolls or before you reach the tower, and let's just say you'll wish you didn't, she smirked, sending shivers up multiple spines. And a word of caution, this forest is home to many creatures, plants, and bugs that are both ferocious and deadly. One wrong move and you're dead, she continued. To top it off, you have a certain time limit to this whole stage. This part of the exam lasts for about 5 days, and if you don't make it to the tower as a whole squad when the time is up, then your whole squad is out. Once each squad was given their scroll, they were sent to a starting point and were permitted into the forest. Squad 7 stopped behind a tree, as Sasuke held out their earth scroll. He spoke to his team, okay, you guys, we need to find a heaven scroll, but we need to think this through. What do you mean? Sakura asked, until Naruto answered. What Sasuke means is that if we want the scroll we're looking for, we need to make sure we pick a team that actually has the scroll we're looking for, he explained, and without knowing which one any of our competition has, we're more than likely to reach a few dead ends. Makes sense. Sakura nodded in understanding. Sasuke suddenly felt something get down. He pushed the two down, as Kunao almost nailed the three. What the? Naruto gasped, as they looked and saw three aim shinobi. Rain ninja. Sakura noticed the headbands. Give us your scroll, the lead demanded. Naruto and Sasuke got up, as the blonde spoke. You want it, you have to fight for it. With pleasure, the second said, as the three went into battle against Naruto and Sasuke, while Sakura watched. Naruto summoned a shadow clone so that they'd be evened up. I have to help them, but what can I do, she thought, until she saw a big tree branch above them, and got an idea. When the real Naruto was knocked over to her, she spoke. Naruto, I got a plan. She whispered it to him, and he smirked. It'll work, he admitted, as he jumped back in to help Sasuke and his clone. Sasuke, let's push them back. What for? Sasuke wondered. Just follow me, lead, he answered, as Sasuke had no time to argue and helped Naruto and his clone in forcing the three shinobi back, until they were almost under the branch Sakura wanted them under. She tied an explosive tag to a kunao and threw it up as it pierced the branch. The note detonated and the branch detached from the tree and landed right on the aim shinobi, crushing them. Sasuke saw what Sakura did and smiled proudly. Good work, Sakura. Sakura smiled. Arigato, Sasuke. Naruto, after dispelling his clone, approached the branch. Now let's find out which scroll these guys have. Before he could check, a purple sludgy substance oozed out from the bottom of the branch. Naruto, not liking the look of this, jumped backwards, and his team saw more sludge ooze out. Suddenly the three aim shinobi rose up from the puddle looking like sludge-covered versions of themselves. Sneaky move, the lead said. But that won't be enough to save you, the third said. What the hell? Sakura gasped. What are they? Sasuke asked in confusion. Naruto squinted his eyes, and answered, Leno pans. His teammates looked at him in confusion. Naruto, what are you talking about? Sakura asked. They're called Leno pans, or sludges for short. Naruto explained. The three Leno pans were curious, as the second spoke. The fact you know our species must mean you have knowledge of alien life. Naruto answered a bit smugly, I know a bit. Alien life? Sakura asked Sasuke, who was just as confused. The lead sludge spoke, then you are the one we are looking for. Naruto's teammates looked at him in confusion, as he asked the lead, looking for? What do you want with me? You have something our employer requests and we will deliver it to him. The lead sludge explained. Naruto, what is he talking about? Sasuke asked. Naruto spoke up, I know what they're after. He rolled up his left sleeve, and showed them the OmniTrix on his wrist, looking for this. Naruto's squad looked at the device in confusion, while the sludges looked pleased. Sakura spoke up, Naruto, what is that? The OmniTrix, the sludges answered for her. Naruto answered his teammate regardless of them already answering what they said. The lead ordered Naruto, give us the OmniTrix or suffer. Tough choice, Naruto pretended to ponder, while tapping his finger to his chin. I go with neither, he shouted. Then suffer, the lead declared. Sorry creeps, but it's hero time. Naruto activated the OmniTrix and slammed down onto it. In place of Naruto was his fire alien, Heat Blast, he declared. Sakura and Sasuke were lost for words, as Sasuke spoke up, Naruto, is that you? Heat Blast looked over at his team, yes, but now I'm called Heat Blast. Look out! Sakura called, as the sludge aliens launched sludge bombs at the fire alien. Heat Blast jumped back, and spoke, "Nice try, but here's something from me." He conjured a fireball in both his palms and threw them at the sludge aliens that exploded upon contact. "No way!" Sasuke gasped at his use of fire. The three sludge aliens extended their sludge limbs to grab Heat Blast, only for the Pyro Knight to blast off the ground and while airborne launched a blast of fire at them, forcing them to back up. "I got them on the run now," Heat Blast said, until he saw the three sludges started merging together into one big sludge creature. "Disgusting." Sakura covered her mouth in disgust. "And ugly too," Heat Blast added. "We will have the OmniTrix," the sludge said in a combination of the three voices. It fired an onslaught of mud bombs at Heat Blast, who ran around to avoid the bombs while powering up his fire. When Sasuke and Sakura saw their teammate running right for the creature, they called out, "Naruto!" Heat Blast had thrust his arms forward and fired a huge blast of fire into the sludge alien and suddenly started solidifying until it became a statue. "Whoa!" Sakura gasped, until she and Sasuke heard a timing sound and Heat Blast was Naruto again. The two ran over to him and shook while demanding answers. Naruto managed to pry them off and spoke, "Look, guys, I'll explain everything, but right now we should go elsewhere before our little recent powwow draws the attention of someone else." Seeing he had a point, the squad went elsewhere, leaving the sludge statue. The three had taken cover by a bush patch that was clear of enemies. Seeing no one would disturb them now, Sasuke was the first to speak. "All right, Naruto, tell us what happened back there." "Yeah, what did you do?" Sakura inquired. "I transformed into an alien," he answered bluntly. "Aliens, are you for real?" Sasuke asked skeptically. "Hey, you got your proof back there, didn't you?" Naruto reminded him. "He's right, Sasuke," Sakura agreed, "but how'd you do it?" With this he showed them the OmniTrix. "Those guys called it the OmniTrix," Sakura remembered, "but what is an OmniTrix?" "This was a device created by an alien known as Azimuth," he explained. "It gives the wearer the ability to transform into multiple alien species whose DNA is stored into it." "Like that fire guy?" Sakura asked. "Yes. He's called Heat Blast." "How did you get this?" Sasuke inspected the watch. "The creator Azimuth came to me and chose me as the OmniTrix's new wielder." "Why choose you?" Sakura asked in confusion. Naruto could tell her question had a hint of doubt in him. "Apparently I remind him of the last user." The two were confused, until Sasuke spoke, "So why did those guys want it?" "I have no idea where those three came from, or who they wanted to get it for," Naruto began, "but if my knowledge of the previous times the OmniTrix has been used is correct, then the ones after it have an intent to use it for domination purposes." "Domination?" Sakura wondered. "That's right. In the wrong hands this thing could cause chaos for our home if not the entire ninja land." Sasuke rolled his eyes. "Figures we'd get dragged into a mess brought on by you." Naruto frowned. "Hey, you can't blame me for what happened. How was I supposed to know aliens had infiltrated the Chunin exams?" "Boys, I think we need to focus on the big picture here," Sakura reminded them. Sasuke looked at her and spoke, "Sakura's right, we still need to find a heaven scroll." Naruto, understanding that, answered, "Yeah. It's clear those three had no intention to be part of the Chunin exams and probably disposed of their scroll. So we need to find another team and hope they have the scroll we need," Sasuke concluded. Suddenly they heard a laugh echo from all around them. The three got up and armed themselves while looking around. "Keep on your toes, guys," Sasuke ordered, as the two nodded. Suddenly rising up from the ground was Akusa Shinobi. Found you. She licked her lips with a long tongue. "Just one," Naruto noted, and asked Sasuke, "Think we can take her together?" Sasuke answered, that, or go down trying. Then let's go. Naruto called, as he and Sasuke charged into battle against the ninja who blocked their strikes, before backflipping away and extended her arms, launching multiple snakes from her sleeves at the two. Look out! Sasuke called, as he and Naruto jumped aside, and Sasuke used one of his fire jutsu sending fireballs at their enemy. Unfortunately, the shinobi sunk into the ground to avoid the attack. Where'd she go? Sakura gasped, as they looked around. Suddenly Naruto realized and looked back at his female teammate. Sakura, get out of there, he quickly threw a shuriken in her direction. Sakura realized the Kusa shinobi was about to pop up before her. The girl quickly moved, as the Kusa ninja emerged and deflected the shuriken as if it were nothing. Naruto spoke to Sasuke, Sasuke, call me crazy but I think that ninja's stronger than she looks. Actually, I agree, Sasuke admitted, think you can turn into another one of those aliens in that watch? Sure, let me just find one. Naruto said, as he went through the choices. Well, pick one fast. Sasuke ordered, as he went to defend himself from the ninja. Got one. Naruto called, as he activated the OmniTrix and transformed. Forearms, he declared. The three shinobi gasped, as Sakura thought, wow, four-armed and muscular. The Kusa shinobi watched in interest, this is new. Four-arms spoke, yeah? And this is me about to kick your butt. He ran at the ninja and restrained him using one set of his limbs, before punching him using a third of his arms. The shinobi was sent flying backwards, crashing into a few trees. Sasuke spoke as he saw how far the shinobi flew. Well, that had to hurt. Come on. Four-arms said, as the three raced over to see if they could get the scroll from her. They stopped to see a big crater in a tree's trunk with the shinobi lying on the ground. Thinking she was dead, they approached to see if she had a scroll on her, only to hear a laugh come out of her that sounded different from the way she sounded. That really did hurt, the shinobi admitted, but I have felt a lot worse than that before. She's still alive after taking such a hit. Sakura gasped, as they backed away. The ninja got up to reveal a side of her face was torn off to reveal white skin, and a yellow snake-like eye. The shinobi ripped the rest of the fake skin off, exposing its true face, and was a man. Nice to meet you three. I am Orochimaru. Suddenly the three tensed up as they felt the killer intent he was emitting off him was more severe than the last powerful shinobi they fought named Zabuza. Orochimaru smirked as he formed hand signs and suddenly stretched his neck out, aiming right for Sasuke. Four-arms quickly snapped out of it and grabbed the head before he could try and sink his teeth into Sasuke. Sasuke and Sakura quickly snapped out of it, as they saw Four-arms swing their enemy around by his stretched neck, knocking his body into multiple trees, causing them to topple. Four-arms started thrashing Orochimaru by slamming him into the ground right from left. Four-arms then felt the OmniTrix about to time out, so he had to make his last move count. He used all the strength in all four of his arms and threw the ninja, sending him flying halfway across the forest, before he became Naruto again. That was close. Naruto panted. Why was he suddenly about to go after you, Sasuke? Sakura asked him. I don't know, but that guy was bad news. No kidding. Naruto agreed. Where do you think he landed? Sakura asked him. Hopefully far away from us as possible. Naruto answered. Sasuke panted, I think we've done enough for one day. We need to find shelter. Sakura spoke, right. It'll be dark soon. Then let's get out of here. Naruto said, as the three went to find cover. Elsewhere on the ground in another part of the forest, Orochimaru crawled out of a crater before groaning. Suddenly his mouth opened up, and climbing out from it was Orochimaru, looking new and improved. It appears my plan has hit a snag, but no matter, I will have the Uchiha boy brought to me one way or another. I'll let my subordinates handle that. Right now, I better check in on other matters. He sunk into the ground. When nighttime came, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura made camp inside a large tree trunk. They sat around a small fire hoping to not attract too much attention. As Naruto spoke, "Day 1 and so far we've run into sludge aliens and a snake shinobi. And we haven't found the scroll we're looking for," Sasuke put in, feeling disappointed. "We'll just have to search again tomorrow, we still have at least 4 days," Sakura said, trying to brighten them up. "Right," Sasuke agreed, "so we better not waste any time tomorrow. It's gonna be a long night, we better get some sleep," Naruto suggested with a yawn. "Hold it," Sasuke interrupted him, "we can't be careless, especially at night. We need to keep lookout in case enemies show up." "How should we do it?" Sakura inquired. "We'll each take turns standing watch," Sasuke explained. "I'll stand for the first 3 hours, Naruto you follow after me, then you Sakura. And I'll start again in the order." Naruto and Sakura nodded in agreement, until they decided to get their first few hours of sleep, as Sasuke took first watch. Meanwhile, far above the planet in a spaceship, sat the figure the 3 sludges conversed with the night before the second stage of the Chunin exams. He looked at his monitor and saw the 3 sludges being defeated by Heat Blast. He growled, "Those 3 incompetent fools have failed me. But no matter, I still have other means of obtaining the OmniTrix," he said, until he heard an airlock opened. "Ah, so you made it." He heard a series of grumble sounds coming from whoever entered. He spun around in his command chair and saw an armored figure standing in the shadows. "I've heard you are one of the greatest hunters in this side of the galaxy." "Even more than that old fool Kyber was," he received more mumbling sounds from the figure. "Good, because I need you to retrieve the OmniTrix. Do this and I promise you a reward greater than you've ever gained. Can you do that?" The figure held its hands up, as they suddenly turned into blasters. "Good. Now go and get yourself ready, because tomorrow ahead will roll," he snickered, as the armored figure took its leave. Back on Earth, at the Hokage's office, Sarutobi was meeting with Anko, who showed up and informed him of some news she received from the Forest of Death. "So he is back?" Sarutobi feared. "Yes." Anko sighed, as she felt a spot on her neck. "This is most serious." The Hokage sighed. "What should we do?" Anko inquired. "I'm afraid for now we'll have to wait and see what happens," the Hokage answered, while feeling it's not his best option. "For your sakes, that better be the right choice," a voice spoke up. The two looked around in confusion, until Azimuth teleported onto the desk, surprising the Hokage and Proctor. Azimuth looked to the Hokage and greeted him. "Hiruzen." He turned around, faced the Jonin. "Anko." "Azimuth." Anko gasped. Sarutobi spoke up in confusion. "What are you doing here?" Azimuth looked back at the old man with a serious look. "We need to talk." After Azimuth's claim to talk with Hiruzen and Anko, the Kage spoke. "Forgive me, Azimuth, but it's been so long." "Indeed," Azimuth agreed, "not since the last war." He looked back at Anko. "You've grown up, Anko, but you still have the demeanor of a child with these outrageous stunts of yours." Anko, knowing what he meant by that, smiled sheepishly, while pressing the tips of her index fingers together. "Well, you know." Hiruzen decided to get back to the matter at hand. "Azimuth, why are you here?" "Because the Chunin exams is being infiltrated by enemies," the Galvan explained. "We know," Anko answered. "Then you know of the Lepans in the forest?" Azimuth inquired. "Lepans?" Hiruzen asked. "I didn't know about this." "Neither did I," Anko admitted, feeling just as shocked. "So how did you know, Azimuth?" "Do you forget, Anko, who you're talking to?" Azimuth questioned her. "I have eyes all over the ninja land. But if you're not referring to the Lepans, then who are you referring to?" Anko sighed. I'm afraid my former sensei has returned to the village. Azimuth gasped, before his eyes narrowed. So, Orochimaru's at it again. He turned to Hiruzen. I told you that you should have finished him when you had the chance. Hiruzen looked down in guilt. I know. I've repeated that to myself countless times. Azimuth sighed. Well, the past is in the past now. So I assume Orochimaru has come for the remaining Uchiha boy. Yes. Anko answered. Has he been? Azimuth asked, before Anko replied. No, he failed to mark Sasuke like he did to me. Did he say how he failed? Azimuth crossed his arms, as if already having an answer. He was also faced with a very strong opponent was all he could say. The woman explained. Naruto. Azimuth deduced. Naruto. Hiruzen and Anko asked in confusion. The Hokage spoke up, what does Naruto have to do with this? Azimuth looked up at the old man, because those Lepans that were in the forest were after Naruto, or more specifically what he is now in possession of. What could he have that they would be after? Hiruzen asked, knowing it couldn't truly be the Kyuubi. You're the professor, Hiruzen, think. Azimuth replied. Hiruzen pondered some more, until all the pieces came together. Azimuth, did you? Azimuth nodded, yes. I gave it to Naruto. But why? Hiruzen gasped. Because this ninja land needs a hero, especially in times like this. Azimuth answered. What are you two talking about? Anko asked in confusion. Azimuth looked back at her. Right, you were still too young to know about classified information. Very well, Anko, I'll tell you the rest of what was kept from you and the rest of the younger former Konoha plumbers. Meanwhile, back in the forest, Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke had stuck to their plan of taking turns keeping watch while the others slept. When morning rose, all three of them were fast asleep. When the sun shined onto their faces, they stirred before waking up. They sat up and saw the sun, finally morning. Sakura groaned. Yeah. Sasuke agreed. Well, we better get ready, and head out to find a scroll we need. Naruto suggested, as they all started collecting their stuff. They were cut off as a blast of wind suddenly pushed them back and onto each other. What the hell was that? Naruto groaned, as he got up. We're under attack. Sasuke answered, as the three saw three sound shinobi approaching them. We're Team Oto, one boy with spiked hair began. I'm Zaku. The girl of the group went next. My name's Kin. The final boy finished, and I'm Dosu. On your toes, guys. Sasuke ordered, as Squad 7 got ready. We're only here for you, Sasuke Uchiha. Dosu pointed to him. Why only me? Sasuke squinted, knowing the answer already. It's what our boss wants. Zaku answered. Your boss? Sakura asked puzzled. You've already met him. Kin reminded them. The three answered together, Orochimaru. Zaku smirked, that's right. And now he wants us to deliver the Uchiha boy to him personally. Naruto took a step forward before his team ready to use his shadow clone jutsu. You want him, then you gotta go through me. Don't make us laugh. Dosu answered, unamused. I'm not aiming to. Naruto responded. Your funeral? Kin said, as the three shinobi were prepared to strike only for something to hit them from the side sending them crashing into another tree. Squad 7 looked and saw the Oto shinobi were stuck to a tree by a purple blob. What is this stuff? Zaku demanded, as the three struggled. I can't break out. Dosu struggled. Who's responsible for this? Kin demanded. They suddenly heard heavy footsteps approaching. Squad 7 looked and saw walking into the clearing, was a tall imposing figure decked out in purple, red, and black armor wired up with weapons, and a black visor covering his whole face. What is that thing? Zaku asked, freaking out. The figure spoke in a gibberish tone, which confused the six. What was that? Sakura asked, not understanding a word. The figure repeated again in its gibberish language, until Naruto groaned, "We can't understand a word you're saying." The being started pressing some buttons on a small computer on his left arm, before he spoke to them in their language with a robotic tone. "I am 99, greatest hunter in the galaxy. I have come for the OmniTrix." He raised his right hand and aimed it at them, as it converted into a blaster. Naruto decided to toy with the hunter. "The what? Do not test my patience, child. I know you carry the OmniTrix on your wrist." Naruto held up his wrist. "Oh, you mean this? Sorry, but I made a promise not to let anyone take it." 99 answered, "If you will not hand it over, then I will take it by force." He blasted at Squad 7, who jumped out of the way, before the blast caused their tree shelter to fall over. "That was close," Sakura gasped. Naruto and Sasuke got up, and Naruto spoke, "Let's show this hunter a thing or two about fighting." "Way ahead of you," Sasuke agreed, as the two ran for 99. Naruto summoned some shadow clones to surround the hunter, as 99 started blasting at the clones. While some took the hit and were destroyed, the remaining ones grabbed shuriken from their pouches and threw them, only to get deflected off the hunter's armored suit. "Pitiful," 99 said, as he blasted at the remaining clones, before speaking to Naruto. "Now you are mine." "Fireball jutsu," Sasuke called from behind 99, as the hunter turned and got engulfed by flames. "You got him," Sakura cheered. When the jutsu stopped, the shinobi gasped, seeing 99's armor wasn't affected. "Good try, but not good enough." He extended his left hand and blasted Sasuke with a net, trapping him. "Sasuke," Naruto called, before frowning at 99, "All right, man. Now it's my turn." He activated the OmniTrix and transformed into Diamond Head. "Diamond Head. Maybe now I'll get a challenge," 99 said, as he readied himself. "Let's dance," Diamond Head called, as the two engaged in combat. Sakura, taking advantage of 99's distraction, ran to Sasuke and used a kunai to cut him out of the net. "Thanks, Sakura," Sasuke said, as the two watched their comrade fight the hunter. Diamond Head turned his arms into diamond spears and began jabbing and striking at 99, only for the hunter to blast him with cannons that popped out of his shoulder. As they fought, the sound shinobi watched as well, with Zuko speaking. "So, who's your money on?" he asked his team, only for them to roll their eyes and sigh. Diamond Head jumped out of the way of 99's blasts, before extending his arms out and shot diamond shards at the hunter, forcing him to back away. Diamond Head spoke, "You know you're not the first one in this forest who wanted the OmniTrix." "I know. And it's my job to clean up their mess," 99 said, as he fought back, knocking Diamond Head into a tree, causing it to topple. Diamond Head heard the OmniTrix beep, and suddenly was Naruto again. "Oh, man," he groaned. "Looks like you're out of options, child," 99 said, as he aimed his blaster at him. "But I'm not," Sasuke called, as he used his next fire jutsu, releasing multiple fireballs at 99, distracting him long enough for Naruto to slip away. Naruto looked at the OmniTrix, seeing it needed a bit of time to recharge, knew he had to do it his own way. "All right, time to stall." He summoned multiple shadow clones like before, and they engaged 99. "I grow bored of this childish game," 99 said in irritation, as he blasted away the clones. When Naruto was the only one left, he threw a kunai for 99, only for him to catch it out of thin air. "You are so pitiful even for a human. Don't mock just yet," Naruto smirked. 99 was confused, until he saw the kunai he was holding was wrapped with a paper bomb that blew up in his face, distorting his vision. "Good one, Naruto," Sakura smiled, feeling impressed. Naruto saw the OmniTrix was recharged again. "Yes. And now I know what alien to use against this guy. Now he activated it and transformed into his smartest alien form. Gray matter. Sasuke and Sakura looked down at him, with Sakura asking in almost irritation, why would you pick such a small creature to go up against him? Because, Sakura, this creature is just the one I need to get him off our backs. Gray matter answered, as he ran over to the distorted 99, and climbed up his leg and got on his back. He opened a small compartment on his back and began messing with the wiring inside. What's he doing? Sakura asked her teammate. I don't know. Sasuke answered. Gray matter finished one final wiring, that should do it, he said before jumping off 99 and became Naruto again. 99 regained control of his suit and spun around to face him. You are going to your head severed from your body and mounted in my trophy room. He was prepared to blast him again. I don't think so. Naruto answered smugly. Sakura and Sasuke were worried Naruto was going to get killed, until Ninanin's rocket jets popped out of his body and launched him off into the sky with him having no control. They watched as he disappeared into the morning sky. Whoa, Naruto, what did you do? Sakura asked. Just a little rewiring of his rocket thrusters on auto, and disabling his controls on it. Naruto answered bluntly, while his team were confused. Well, whatever you did, we better get out of here before he decides to come back. Sasuke suggested. Right, but first things first, Naruto began, as he walked over to the still stuck Temoto and reached on Doso's exposed pockets that were covered by the gunk 99 got them with and found their scroll being exactly what Squad 7 was looking for. We'll take this. The three-bound ninja frowned. We got both scrolls. Sakura smiled in joy. Now we can head for the tower. Sasuke smirked. Might I suggest we take a shortcut? Naruto suggested. Sakura looked puzzled. You know of one. That's right, and it's by air. Naruto answered, as he activated the OmniTrix again and transformed. Stink fly. Sasuke and Sakura backed away in repulse, as Sakura spoke. Ugh. Naruto, no offense, but this form of yours is disgusting. Stinkfly answered, hideous, maybe. But airworthy? Hell yes. Sasuke looked at Sakura, it is a good way to avoid any unnecessary fights. Sakura looked at both her teammates before sighing, okay. Good. Stinkfly flapped his wings and flew behind his teammates, lifting them off the ground in his arms. Zuko called, hey, you're not just going to leave us like this, are you? Stinkfly looked back at him and his team, you'll find a way out yourselves. Hopefully he flew up into the air, as Doso called from below. Come back here. I demand you get us out of this immediately. But Stinkfly already flew off. The three sighed, as Kin asked, well, now what? Her teammates had no answer. Meanwhile above the forest, Stinkfly was flying his teammates above the trees. Take a look, guys, we're on top of the world, he declared. The two looked down seeing how high up they were. This is incredible. Sakura called in excitement. No way. Sasuke gasped. Way. Stinkfly assured him. You can see just about everything in the forest from up here. Sakura noted, spotting some of the other teams. Sasuke looked ahead and saw their destination. There's the tower. Coming in for landing. Stinkfly called, as he descended to the ground. The OmniTrix timed out and he became Naruto again. That saved us a lot of time. Sakura admitted. Naruto nodded in agreement. Come on, let's get inside. Sasuke said, as they entered the tower. They walked through a hall before coming into an open room. So now that we're in here, we get to open our scrolls, right? Naruto asked. That's what the proctor said. Sakura confirmed. Sasuke nodded, and opened up both their scrolls and poof there stood Irika Umino, Congratulations for passing the second stage of the Chunin exams, guys. Sensei, good to see you. Naruto smiled. Good to see all of you as well, Iruka agreed. Now then, until the remaining 4 days are up, you three are to remain here at the tower. Got that? The squad nodded. Good. Later, Squad 7 was given a temporary room to bunk in while they waited for the 5-day limit to pass. As they relaxed, their door opened, and entering was the Hokage. Hello, everyone. Sandaime-sama. Sakura gasped, as she, Sasuke, and Naruto bowed their heads. What brings you here? Naruto asked. I'm afraid there are matters we must discuss with you three. Hiruzen explained with a sigh. We? Sasuke asked, seeing no one with the old man. He means me, a new voice called, as Azimuth flew in on a hover podium. Sakura and Sasuke backed away in shock, until Naruto spoke up. Relax, guys. This is Azimuth, the alien I told you about. Wait a minute, what are you doing here with Jiji? He asked his mentor. Hiruzen? He and I have known each other for a very long time. Azimuth explained. You have? Naruto asked the Hokage, who nodded and spoke. Azimuth and the Galvans supplied us with many weapons and resources during the last ninja war. And before then plumber bases were stationed all throughout the ninja land. We had allies from just about every nation and every planet. Unfortunately, as time passed, the ninja nations started growing apart, be it from the bloodline purging and stealing, to betrayal, and forced sacrifice. Eventually the plumbers had to disband throughout the nations. And the alien allies? Naruto asked. Azimuth answered, some chose to return home to their own planets, others remained here in the nations in seclusion, fearing they would be experimented on. Wait a minute, Sasuke interrupted, are you saying there could be aliens living among us and we don't even know it? Perhaps. Azimuth answered with a shrug. Hiruzen spoke to Naruto. Azimuth briefed me on how he passed the OmniTrix to you, Naruto. Naruto looked at the Galvan. Why did you decide to tell him? I'm sure you know exactly why. Azimuth crossed his arms. So you know what happened in the forest? Naruto realized. Yes, you fought those Lepans and had to use the Pyronite DNA to harden their bodies. How does he know that? Sakura asked Naruto, and Azimuth answered for the boy. The OmniTrix has a built-in danger detector which I use to keep track of when it is used and who it is used against. Then you also know of who else I faced in the forest? Naruto asked. Yes. That Hunter 99 comes from a line of alien mercenaries like his 3 siblings 66, 7 Zazevan, and 88. Azimuth explained. I don't understand how he or those Lepans knew where to find me. Naruto said. Obviously, somebody has their own resources and knew I came here with the OmniTrix. Azimuth deduced. But who? I do not know, but what I do know is, Naruto, you must prepare yourself for whatever else comes your way, Azimuth answered, before turning to Sasuke, and that goes for you too, young Uchiha. Me, what do you mean? Sasuke asked. Hiruzen spoke up, the shinobi you fought in the forest, Orochimaru. You know about that too? Sakura asked. Anko informed me of the Kusa shinobi Orochimaru was posing as was killed, he began, and noticed Sasuke's neck. You're lucky Orochimaru didn't brand you with his curse mark. Curse mark? Sasuke asked once again, feeling confused. Maybe you should explain from the beginning. Azimuth suggested. Right, Hiruzen cleared his throat. Orochimaru was a former Konoha shinobi and was once my student when he was even younger than you three. Like you, Sasuke, he was born with talent of a true shinobi. And like you, Naruto, he grew up an orphan and had no family in his life. I see. Naruto replied. As the years passed, Orochimaru started growing distant from us and caught up in his work, Hiruzen continued, then we discovered he had been experimenting on human bodies for forbidden research. Forbidden research? Sakura asked, what do you mean? Orochimaru had an obsession with learning all the world's jutsu, and experimented on humans to know everything. Hiruzen explained. How horrible! Sakura gasped. That's twisted. Naruto added in disbelief. Indeed. Azimuth agreed. When we caught him he eluded us, and I failed to bring him to justice. Hiruzen said in guilt. So why did he come back in after me? Sasuke asked, as Azimuth explained. The Sharingan your family possesses is all he needs to learn every jutsu, boy. Of course. Naruto realized it with Sakura. You also said something about a curse mark. Sasuke inquired. Hiruzen spoke. One of Orochimaru's experiments involved cursed seals he brands on certain ninja. That seal infuses the wearer with dangerous chakra that poisons the mind, and grows stronger each time it is activated. Azimuth took it. It's likely Orochimaru wanted to brand you with such a mark to tempt you with its power so you would seek him out to gain more. And with you at his side he would harness your Sharingan for his own purpose. Unbelievable. Sasuke gasped. Fortunately for you, Naruto was able to get Orochimaru far away from you. Azimuth added. But if I know my former student he will not give up just yet, Hiruzen feared. That's why I've had increased patrols in the village to be on lookout. Well, we also had a run-in with some followers of his in the forest before 99 showed up. Naruto explained. Ah, yes, Zaku, Kin, and Dosu, Azimuth began, much to Squad 7's concern, you won't have to worry about them. I had some of my Galvan guards capture them and brought them in for questioning. If they know anything about Orochimaru we will find it. At least we don't have to worry about running into them again. Sakura sighed in relief. But there's still the issue of Orochimaru and 99. Naruto noted. Correct, but for now you three should rest up. You've earned it. Hiruzen said, right now, Azimuth and I have more to discuss. Until then. Azimuth said, as he and the Hokage left the room. Naruto turned to his squad. They're right, we have earned this rest. The two nodded, and decided to relax. Meanwhile back up in space inside the spaceship, 99 was kneeling before his employer. As said employer spoke, was that all a joke out there? He asked rhetorically, did I hire some mediocre comedian? I give you a simple task and you come back empty-handed, he bellowed. My apologies, master. The boy and his allies were resourceful. I underestimated them, but next time I shall not, he promised. See to it, you don't. Now leave me, he ordered, as 99 took his leave. The employer stood up and walked into the light, revealing to have been a chimera sui generis who looked about age 20 by human standards. His attire included black metal boots, black torso armor, and black gauntlets that went up to his elbows. He walked down from his command chair, and up to a wall of his chamber. He pressed a button in a hidden compartment and revealed a hidden memorial in dedication to none other than Vilgax the Conqueror. He spoke to the picture of the former tyrant. I promise you, great-grandfather, the OmniTrix will be obtained in honor of you. I, your great-grandson, Valmark, swear on it. He bowed to his ancestor's shrine, as the picture of Vilgax looked as if he himself was looking down upon his great-grandson with expectations. As Naruto and his squad waited patiently at the tower for the time limit for Part 2 of the Chunin exams to come to an end, Naruto stood up and looked at his team. I'm gonna go check out more of this tower. Okay. Sakura said. Just don't go far. Sasuke warned him. Sasuke, this is me you're talking to. Naruto said dryly. Exactly my point. Sasuke replied. With a roll of his eyes, Naruto left the room. The blonde walked around the inside of the tower getting to know the layout, until he discovered another team entering and had been admitted. It was a team from Kiri. He noticed one of the members had something wrapped in cloth on his back and had two handles. That must be some sword, he began. I wonder, he pondered before going over to meet them. Can we help you? The boy carrying the sword asked in worry. That sword on your back, is that one of legendary blades of the seven swordsmen? Naruto inquired. The boy was even more concerned. Who wants to know? He asked, as his teammates got ready in case Naruto was planning to try something. No reason, just thought I let you know I met one of the original seven swordsmen some time ago. Naruto answered. You what? The boy asked in surprise. That's right. Zabuza Mamakai, Demon of the Mist. You met Zabuza, the boy gasped. Naruto confirmed, and I even watched him die, he added. Whoa, the boy gasped, as his teammates were surprised. The name's Naruto, and you are? Jojuro, he answered, and my teammates, Kaizo and Watashi. His two teammates bowed their heads in respect. Nice to meet you all. Naruto greeted them. Same here, I guess, Jojuro admitted. So did you fight Zabuza himself? Not personally, but I partook in the battle against him with a partner of his. Wow. What was it like staring into the face of the Demon of the Mist? Jojuro asked curiously. Made me wanna shit my pants like crazy. Naruto explained. I'd only been told stories about his reputation and from our village history books. He was one of Kiri's best. Jojuro said in awe. I figured that out the hard way. Naruto added, well, it was nice meeting you three. Yeah. I guess we'll be seeing you around. Jojuro said, as the three took off for a room. Naruto watched them leave and looked at Jojuro. He seems like a nice guy, he thought, before continuing on. Naruto managed to find a cafeteria, where he got himself a bite and took a seat at a table. He enjoyed his lunch, and noticed another team enter. They were IWA Shinobi, composed of two boys and a girl who appeared to be their strongest member. About time we found this cafeteria, I'm starving, the girl said, as she and her team got something to eat. When they took a seat at a table in front of the one Naruto was preoccupying, one of the IWA Shinobi spoke, Sure hop, this stuff's as good as they say it is. It better be, the girl said. Hey. Naruto called over, as the three looked over at him, take it from a shinobi in this village, you'll be very satisfied with the stuff we have to offer. The girl scowled, well, we didn't ask you. Who are you anyway, pal? A friend once said it's common courtesy to introduce yourself first. Naruto answered smugly. The girl fumed, before getting herself together, I'm Kuratsuke, the Tsuchikage's granddaughter. You're related to the Tsuchikage? Naruto asked curiously. The Kunoichi smirked smugly, got that right, so who are you? The name's Naruto. You and your squad must be good to make it here. Naruto said. Oh, we're more than good, Kuratsuka said, we're the best in our village. I'll be hoping so when I see you guys in combat, hopefully. Naruto replied. You'll be sorry, Kuratsuka said, before standing up and taking her food. Let's eat back at our room, she told her teammates, who nodded and left with her. Naruto continued to eat his lunch, until another voice spoke up, well, look what we have here. Naruto looked over and saw the Kumo shinobi he met before the Chunin exams. Hey, it's you guys again. Nice to meet you, made it. Naruto congratulated them. Kurui scowled, don't try and act all chummy with us, pal. We're not your friends. Naruto gave her the stink eye at her rudeness, until Amwa spoke up, come on, Kurui. Guy was just being nice. Don't defend him, Amwa. Kurui chided him. Kurui, cool it. Samui scolded her, and she shut up. She spoke to Naruto, once again, I apologize for Kurui's rudeness. No harm done, he answered. So when did you get here? Asked. Yesterday. Naruto answered, leaving and Kurui in shock. What? They cried. You made it here before us. Kurui asked in disbelief. Whoa. Gasped. The dangers in that forest were tough, but I just had to be tougher, he explained, before finishing his lunch. Well, I'm heading back to my room. I'll see you all real soon. He left. I still can't believe he got here before we did. Kurui grumbled. He must be better than he looks. Suggested. We'll have to see it for ourselves. Samui said, as the three left. Watching around the corner was a figure in a cloak. Before he left, he walked into another room where Orochimaru was waiting. Did you see him? The rogue shinobi asked. The figure removed his hood, revealing to be Kabuto. Yes. I don't understand how he was able to defeat you. I told you, the boy transformed into an alien species known as a tetramand. Orochimaru explained. You still tell me these stories about aliens, and yet I have never seen one in my life. Kabuto said in skepticism. You were much too young to know about them, and by the time you came of age, the plumbers had already shut down their operations here in the ninja land. Orochimaru explained. So what could allow Naruto to turn into this alien creature? Kabuto inquired, while leaning against a wall. It has to be the famed device that came up so many times in Plumber's history. The OmniTrix. OmniTrix? Kabuto wondered. Yes. And if he's wearing it, this could put a damper on my plan. Orochimaru feared. So what should we do? For now we keep a low profile and wait until the moment is right. Then we'll take Sasuke. Orochimaru instructed, as Kabuto nodded in understanding. A few days later, all the past teams including the Konoha rookies, Guy's squad, Kabuto and his team, and the squads from Suna, Iwa, Kiri, and Kumo were present before the Hokage, the Jonin, and the proctors in the main room. I commend you all for completing the second stage of the Chunin exams, Hiruzen began. Before we continue on, is there anyone here wishing to withdraw from the ranks? I do. Kabuto raised his hand. Naruto and the rest of the rookies looked at Kabuto in confusion, until he left the group. Then a Jonin spoke up, I am Hayate Gecko and I shall serve as proctor. You will all be selected to fight each other randomly via this screen. He motioned to a screen above that scrambled up all of the remaining challengers' names. Suddenly the names Yoroi and Sasuke showed up. As Hiruzen spoke, will all those besides the chosen ones move up top? And so everyone did. As Squad 7 watched from above, Kakashi approached, with Azimuth on his shoulder. Azimuth. Naruto gasped. Afternoon. Azimuth greeted them. Are you sure you should be out in the open with so many people around? Sakura wondered. I don't have real reason to keep a low profile now. Besides, I already talked with the rest of the higher-up shinobi and have agreed to let me watch the matches. Hey. What's that thing? Kiba asked, as the rookies saw Azimuth. Azimuth, seeing them, decided to answer, Greetings, children. I am Azimuth of Planet Galvan. Nice to meet you. Planet Galvan? Hinata asked. You're an alien. Chuji gasped. Freaky. Ino gasped. Sorry, I can't answer more questions. I want to watch this match. Azimuth said, as they looked down to see the match between Sasuke and Yoroi had begun. The two shinobi squared off with Sasuke dodging some of Yoroi's attacks. The Uchiha performed a fire jutsu and saw his flames weren't as powerful as they should be. What's going on here? Sasuke asked himself, before he felt a tingling feeling. Wait a minute, you're a chakra absorber, he accused Yoroi. That's right, he confirmed, and I'm gonna suck you dry. I don't think so. Sasuke called, as he used taijutsu against Yoroi and with a combined move of Lee's and an original move of his own defeated Yoroi, granting him a place in the finals. Squad 7 cheered, as Azimuth thought to himself, clever, using a taijutsu move combined with someone else's and your own. Sasuke walked up to his squad, as Sakura spoke, "Will you be alright, Sasuke?" "I'll be fine, after I've rested," he admitted, as he took it easy. They watched as the next two names came up, being Kurui and Kuratsuki. Kuratsuki smirked, as she made her way down to the arena. Kurui looked to her team, as Amwa spoke, "Be careful, Kurui." "I know." Kurui nodded. "Watch your back and whatever you do don't slack," a sunglasses-wearing man instructed through rap. "Hi, B-sensei." Samui spoke, "Go for it." Kurui nodded, and left for the arena. When the two kunoichi met on the arena, Hate gave them the go, and the fight began. Kurui drew her sword, and began striking at Kuratsuki, who was dodging. Above them, Tenten watched in astonishment. "Wow, the way she uses that sword is so skillful." "Well, Kyomo ninja have been known to have exceptionally skilled sword users," Guy admitted. "But that Iwa kunoichi is fast," Lee noted. Kurotushi formed hand signs, water style, water trumpet jutsu. She expelled a jet of water from her mouth and onto the floor Kurui was standing on. She started making hand signs again. Next part. Lava style, quicklime congealing jutsu. She spat some plaster material from her mouth, and when it mixed with the water it started solidifying into cement, trapping Kurui's feet. "Hey, what is this?" Kurui demanded, as she tried to break out by striking it with her sword with failing results. "You can struggle all you want, but you won't be able to break out of that with your weapon. You may as well call the match, otherwise this whole thing will drag on." Kurui growled at her predicament, but knew the Iwa kunoichi was correct, and she declared forfeit. Kuratsuki, taking pity on Kurui, used Earth Release to break the cement, allowing the Kumo girl to move again. The Iwa girl spoke up, "For what it's worth, you did impress me with your sword skills." Kurui answered, "Well, thanks, I guess." The two left the arena and went back up. When Kurui met with her team, Amwa was saddened. "Oh, man, sorry about that, Kurui." Be interrupted, "No need for tears, Amwa. Kurui did her best, and now we watch the rest," he rapped. The next two names to be drawn were Chuji and Jojuro. Both shinobi were surprised, and made their way to the arena. Jojuro spoke up, "Let's both do our best, okay?" he asked, hoping he didn't sound lame. Chuji smiled, "Sure." "You may begin," Hate announced. Chuji started off by using his expansion jutsu and became a human boulder, taking Jojuro by surprise. "Ah," he cried, as Chuji was barreling around trying to bowl Jojuro over, who was jumping and dodging Chuji. "Jojuro, get your head in the game," Watashi called. "We don't want to disappoint Mizukage-sama," Kaizo added. Jojuro, knowing better than to disappoint his village leader, got up and spoke, "I don't." He grabbed the sword on his back and suddenly the bandages came off, revealing chakra that took the form of a mallet. This took the shinobi by surprise, as Jojuro used it to block Chuji, but the human boulder was still trying to overpower the Kiri boy. "What is that?" Sakura gasped. "That is the Hiramekare, one of the legendary swords of Kiri's 7 swordsmen," Kakashi explained. "That's another of the legendary blades?" Sasuke inquired. "Yes. And from my knowledge of that blade, it can take the form of other striking weapons when encased in chakra." "Wicked," Naruto said in amaze. Tenten watched in pure nostalgia. "Such a beautiful weapon," she thought with delight. "Come on, Chuji," Ino called, while Shikamaru groaned at her loudness. Jojuro started pushing Chuji back, until he overpowered the chubby boy, sending the human boulder crashing into a wall. Chuji looked dizzy, and asked, is it time for lunch? Jojuro is the winner. Hayate announced. Chuji. Ino gasped. Well, I saw that coming. Shikamaru said dryly, as Chuji came up. Sorry about that, guys. What matters is you tried, Chuji, Asuma consoled him. How about after this I treat you to some barbecue, he offered. Chuji's eyes lit up and he cheered. All right. His teammates rolled their eyes. The next two names chosen were Misumi and Kankuro. The two went to the arena, and the match took off with Misumi attempting to crush Kankuro by wrapping his body around him like a snake, but the Suna shinobi took Misumi by surprise utilizing his puppet known as Crow and put the squeeze on him until he surrendered. Azimuth, while watching, thought to himself, so Suna still teaches the generation of this time to use those puppet creations? That boy certainly utilizes that one well. The next two names to be drawn were Shino and Amwa. Amwa was surprised, while Shino remained quiet and stoic. Okay, Amwa, this is it. Samui said. Right. Amwa nodded, as he went down to meet Shino. You may begin. Hayate announced, as Amwa drew his sword and tried to strike Shino, who jumped back. Go, Shino. Kiba called, as Hinata watched, hoping her teammate would be alright. Shino, deciding to no longer be on the defense, held out his arms, releasing swarms of insects from his sleeves. Bugs? Amwa asked. That's right, and these bugs are deadly. Shino warned him. Guess this calls for amping it up. Amwa said, as he channeled his lightning chakra into his sword and was able to ward the bugs away as if his weapon was a bug zapper. All right, now you're cooking, Amwa. Kuruhi called in support. Oh, dear. Hinata gasped. Utilizing lightning style with a sword? Suzuki asked. Sounds like a clever idea, he admired. Amwa, using his electrified sword to repel the bugs, went for Shino, who was on the defense again, but didn't show any signs of worry. What's Shino going to do now? Naruto asked. Let's just wait and see, Naruto. Azimuth instructed, as the boy continued to watch. Amwa was feeling confident he had the upper hand against Shino. Shino, knowing he had no choice, ran to Amwa, much to Kiba and Hinata's worry. Amwa, seeing Shino running up to him, struck at him with his lightning sword, only to see Shino dispersed into more bugs. What? Amwa gasped, as multiple of the foreign shinobi were equally surprised. Shino was suddenly behind him. You fell for my insect clone. He delivered a kick to Amwa's wrist, causing the Kumo shinobi to lose hold of his sword. Amwa tried to grab his weapon, only for Shino's insects to surround him. Make one move, and my insects will drain your chakra dry, the bug user warned him. Amwa, not seeing any way out of his predicament, felt defeated and resigned. Hayate announced, the winner is Shino. Squad 8 cheered, while Kurane smiled. Shino recalled all his insects, and Amwa picked up his sword and held out his hand to Shino. That was a good match. You're real good. Shino offered his hand in respect. Same to you. The two shook on it, before going back up. Kiba and Hinata congratulated Shino, until Azimuth floated by on his hover platform. You did a good job down there, Shino. When Amwa had your insects at a disadvantage, you still thought your way through the situation and overcame the problem. Thanks, I guess. Shino said, as the squads were still curious about the little creature. They saw the next two challengers decided, being Temari and one of the IWA shinobi. They watched as Kuratsuka's teammate took off attacking Temari, who was dodging, before whipping out the giant fan on her back and rode it into the air using her wind element. The IWA shinobi, utilizing the earth element, was able to raise some earth pillars so he could jump up to Temari's level, but that's what led to his defeat. Temari quickly jumped down and waved her fan upward, releasing cutting wind that put tears in the shinobi's body, surprising Kuratsuka and her second teammate. When the IWA shinobi landed on the floor unconscious, Hayate called the match. the winner is to marry. Kuratsuka growled seeing how her teammate was defeated by Tamari, and watched as he was taken away by the medical shinobi. Azimuth spoke to Squad 7, that girl certainly knows how to utilize the wind element with skill, especially when in conjuncture with that fan. She could certainly be a challenge. Naruto added. Sakura looked and saw her name come up along with the Kiri shinobi. Watashi, that's me, she gasped. Okay, Sakura, this is it. Kakashi said. Hi, sensei, she nodded. We'll be rooting. Naruto assured her, as Sasuke nodded in agreement. Thanks, guys. Sakura went down to the arena where the Kiri shinobi waited. I will make this quick and easy for you. Watashi warned her. Sakura kept a firm look, not wanting to be intimidated. Hate called the match, and Watashi went at it with Sakura. The girl not having too many jutsu to back her up and her taijutsu skills nowhere near as good as Naruto and Sasuke's, was defeated just as Watashi said. Sakura went back up to see her team, as Kakashi spoke, you did all you could, Sakura. Yeah, but it wasn't enough, she sighed, I need better training to help me fight like a real shinobi. Perhaps, I can help you, Sakura. Azimuth offered. You can, Azimuth, how? Sakura asked curiously. After these matches, we'll talk, he promised, and she nodded. They saw Shikamaru's name come up along with Tenten's. Oh, great. Why couldn't my name get picked at the end? Well, you better get down there. Choji suggested. Whatever. Shikamaru sighed, as he went down and met Tenten. Begin. Hate announced. Tenten at first pulled out some shuriken and threw them at Shikamaru, who tried dodging but ended up getting on in his leg. Just so you know, I barely miss my targets. Tenten warned him. This is troublesome. Shikamaru groaned, as Tenten unraveled a scroll and summoned 2 sickles. She started striking for Shikamaru, who was trying to keep his distance, while also coming up with a plan to turn the tides on the girl. After barely dodging her sickle swipes, Shikamaru was able to get behind her and use his family's shadow-possessing jutsu to connect them, turning her into a mirroring puppet. What good is this jutsu going to do, if all you can make me do is mimic your every move? Tenten asked, as she was unable to move to her own will. By making you your own enemy. Shikamaru answered, as he started making Tenten grab a kunai and started stabbing her arm. Tenten cried, and Shikamaru recoiled as well. Hey, if you feel the same pain as me, then why do this? Tenten asked. Desperate times, I guess. Shikamaru groaned. Unfortunately for me, I hate desperate times. He continued to have Tenten continue poking the kunai into her skin, while bearing with the pain himself. Finally Tenten couldn't handle the stabbing anymore, and withdrew the match. Hate spoke up, the winner of Shikamaru. All right, Shikamaru. Ino cheered, as Choji applauded, and Asuma clapped. Shikamaru ended his jutsu, allowing Tenten to move freely. Tenten spoke to him, you can really be scary when you want to be. I don't even do scary, he admitted flatly, as the two went up. Tenten arrived at her team and spoke, sorry about that, guys. Don't worry, Tenten, there's always next time. Guy assured her. Thanks, sensei, she smiled with renewed hope. The next 2 names to come up were Naruto and Kiba, with both shinobi smirking. Naruto spoke to his team, here I go, guys. Azimuth spoke up, good luck, Naruto. Not that I need it, but thanks. Naruto answered, as he went down along with Kiba. Kiba spoke up, you'll be wishing you were picked to fight me, Naruto. You shouldn't bark before you bite, Kiba. Naruto retorted, as Kiba growled at his comeback. Stay, Akamaru. Kiba ordered, as Akamaru went on standby. Begin. Kiba charged at Naruto, tackling him. Naruto however held onto Kiba and dragged him with as they rolled across the floor, before letting him go. The two got up, as Naruto quickly summoned two shadow clones to help him fight Kiba, but the Inuzuka overpowered the two clones. Naruto jumped back, as Kiba formed hand signs and started turning feral. Now I gotcha. He started coming at Naruto on all fours, knocking him off his feet. Naruto! Sakura and Sasuke cried, while the other shinobi were curious, thinking the match would be over. Naruto got up and scowled at Kiba. Good move, Kiba, but I got a move of my own I want to share with you. You're bluffing. Kiba called it. I am not. Naruto rolled up his one sleeve and scanned through the OmniTrix, which Kiba suddenly noticed. What is that? My move. He activated the OmniTrix and transformed into Wild Mutt that let out a howl. Needless to say, just about everyone, save for Sakura and Sasuke, were surprised by this sudden transformation. What that a transformation? Chuji asked. I don't know. Ino admitted in surprise. The Kumo team were surprised, as Kurui spoke. What the hell just happened? He just turned into some kinda dog. Moi answered. Kurui groaned, I know that, you idiot. But how? This is unexpected. Samui admitted while looking curious. Kuratsuka was wide-eyed. Okay, I did not see that coming. I'm glad I'm not facing him. Jojuro said to himself. Kiba called to Hayate. Hey, he can't just suddenly take a new form like this, can he? There is no rule to that, he is clearly still Naruto. Hayate answered. Wild Mutt growled, and took off at Kiba. Kiba, not being quick enough to know how to fight this new form of Naruto's, ended up getting tackled to the ground and he struggled to wrestle with the beast. Man, Naruto, this is one ugly form you've taken, Kiba said, as he was getting pinned to the ground. Wild Mutt suddenly let drool leak from his mouth and onto Kiba. Ugh, now you're drooling on me. Akamaru ran to help his partner, by jumping onto Wild Mutt's back, biting him. Wild Mutt howled at the feeling of Akamaru's teeth trying to sink into him, but wasn't so successful. Kiba, taking advantage of his opponent trying to shake Akamaru off, rolled out form under him and threw smoke grenades. Oh, no, Naruto can't see now. Sakura gasped. How could he even see at all? Sasuke asked, making Sakura confused. He doesn't even have eyes. Don't count Naruto out, Azimuth warned him. Vulpamancers might not have eyes, but they're more like that Inuzuka boy than you know. The two were confused, as they watched as Kiba went into the smoke screen to attack Wild Mutt, only to miss. What gives? Kiba asked, until he found himself attacked by Wild Mutt. Okay, I guess you got some heightened senses as well. So let's see whose is better. The two attacked, but Wild Mutt was proving superior due to his strength. That feeling didn't last long, as the OmniTrix beeped and suddenly Wild Mutt became Naruto again, putting surprised looks on everyone's face once again. Naruto saw himself, man, and I was getting to the good part. What the hell, what that, Naruto? Kiba demanded. That form you fought was an alien form I have acquired. His name was Wild Mutt. Naruto explained. Wild Mutt. That's right. And I got some more forms right here. He held up the OmniTrix. Fortunately for you, I have to wait a bit before using it again. How'd you even get that? Kiba asked. A friend, he smiled. Azimuth nodded, feeling proud. Well, I'm gonna end this match right now. Akamaru, man beats clone. Kiba called, as Akamaru transformed into Kiba, and the two performed a combo move, knocking Naruto, sending him rolling across the floor. Naruto! Sakura and Sasuke called, while Hinata looked worried, and the foreign shinobi watched, feeling it was over, until Naruto got back up. I'm not out yet, Kiba. Naruto said, as he summoned multiple shadow clones, that took on Kiba and Akamaru still in man-beast clone. The shinobi watched the two fight, While many were impressed with Naruto taking the most hits and was still going, that guy can take a hit. Umwa gasped. Yeah. He's a stubborn one. Karui added. Samui nodded, still keeping her eyes focused on him, unaware B was also observing Naruto too. Closer than she was. Kiba and Akamaru once again performing their combo move wiped out Naruto's shadow clones, and were about to attack the real one. Naruto, realizing the OmniTrix was functional again, activated it, and in a flash of green the dog partners were blinded and suddenly repelled backwards by a sonic vibration. Everyone saw Naruto, who had transformed into Blitzwolfer. Kiba and Akamaru noticed this, and the dog boy asked, "Another dog alien?" "Wolf to be precise," Naruto answered. "Say hello to Blitzwolfer. And if you the wild mutt was tough. Well, this one's even tougher." Suddenly he took off and plowed through both Kiba and Akamaru like they were nothing. Kankuro spoke to his sibs, "That kid's better than I thought." "Quite so." Gaara mumbled to himself, with his focus on Naruto. Blitzwolfer gained distance from Kiba and Akamaru, and summoned some shadow clones. "Even our ninjutsu still works in our alien forms. At least those who actually have appendages." He and his clones unleashed their sonic howls onto Kiba and Akamaru, making them both crash into a wall, knocking them out. Hate turned to Blitzwolfer, who dispelled his clones and was Naruto again. "The winner is Naruto." "Yeah, Naruto." Sakura cheered, as Sasuke and Kakashi nodded with smiles, or in Kakashi's case, a nice smile. Azimuth smiled as he lightly clapped. Hinata smiled at Naruto for his victory but felt sorry that Kiba lost. Naruto walked up to the balcony and met his team. "So, what did ya think?" he asked his team. "Not bad," Sasuke admitted. "Those two aliens you turned into sure were something," Sakura added. "Well, like I told Kiba, I got plenty more in here." He looked at the OmniTrix. Azimuth spoke up, "Not bad using the OmniTrix as well as incorporating your shadow clone jutsu into them, Naruto. I'm sure if Ben were here he'd be proud to see how you used it." "Thanks. And I aim to get better when using it in combat?" Naruto asked. "I know you will." Azimuth nodded. The next match was between Lee and Kiri Shinobi Kaizo. Kaizo pitted his water-styled jutsu against Lee, but the Konoha Shinobi was too fast for him, and was able to knock him out with a few powerful kicks. Samui and Ino's names were picked next, and the two met on the arena. Ino stood and slightly glanced at Samui's chest and thought, "How can she be so developed like that?" Begin. Samui took off and fought Ino in close combat, with Karui and Umwa cheering her on, while Choji cheered Ino on, as Shikamaru cheered dryly. Ino was trying her best to fight back, but her opponent seemed just as skilled in hand-to-hand combat, as she was striking so fast she could barely keep up. Samui eventually grabbed the tanto she had sheathed behind her and struck Ino's shirt, putting a tear in it to expose her navel. "Whoa, that was close," Ino said to herself. Samui aimed her tanto at Ino, and spoke, "Sorry, but this match is over." She went on the attack again, not giving Ino any chance to use any of her jutsu, and was eventually worn out, and knocked aside by Samui. Hate, seeing Ino was too tired, called the match. "Samui is the winner." "Yeah." Karui cheered, as she and Umwa do a double high-five, as B smiled. Asuma came down and retrieved Ino, bringing her back up to the balcony. "Sorry sensei. I was outclassed by her." "Don't worry, Ino. You'll be stronger next time," Asuma promised her. "Indeed." Azimuth came over, "And I can also help you, Ino." "You can?" she asked in confusion. "Yes. When this is over expect a visit from me sometime." Okay," she answered. They watched as the next two names called were Hinata and her cousin Niji. The two cousins went to the field, and before Hate could begin the match, Niji spoke up, "You should just give up, Hinata. You have no place being here." You only made it here because your teammates carried your lack of experience. Once a weakling, always a weakling. Hinata at first was shaken but shook it off. I'm not running away from you, Niji. Then don't blame me when you lose. Niji warned her, and the two took off. Azimuth watched the match with great interest, a main and branch member of the Hyuga clan facing off. With a combination of the gentle fist art and Byakugan, this should make for a very interesting match. And so they watched, as the two cousins were giving it their all, until Niji started striking Hinata in fatal spots. Naruto called out, "Hinata!" Niji stood perfectly calm, as Hinata was looking ready to collapse. "Are you ready to surrender now?" he asked. "No," she answered. Niji's eyes tightened. "What did you say?" "I said no," she repeated herself. "Then prepare to lose." Niji was about to strike again. As Hinata's eyes started to glow and upon instinct thrusted her right arm forward, "No," she screamed as a magenta beam blasted from her hand and hit Niji, sending him flying backwards and crashing into the wall. Everyone gasped, as Azimuth looked equally shocked. Naruto spoke, "What the, did Hinata just?" Hinata gasped as she looked at her right hand. "Did I do that?" she asked in shock. Niji groaned, as he peeled off the wall. "What just happened?" I don't know," Hinata answered. Niji frowned. "Well, let's see you try that again if you can." He once again went on the attack, and as if responding to her feelings, magenta energy shields kept appearing on Hinata's hands as she was blocking Niji's strikes, before she took an opening and knocked Niji back once again. Naruto spoke to Azimuth. "Azimuth, is Hinata doing what I think she's doing?" "Yes, Naruto. Hinata is using the powers of an anodite." What?" Sakura asked. "An anodite, another alien species I learned about," Naruto explained, as he and everyone watched Hinata take the fight to Niji, who had no way of knowing how to counter this new power of Hinata's. Hinata eventually conjured two mana energy arms and grabbed Niji, squeezing the life out of him. "Hinata, stop it, he can't take any more," Naruto called. "The match is over." Hei declared her the winner. "Hinata!" Naruto screamed, as Hinata's eyes went back to normal. She gasped, as the mana arms disappeared and dropped the weakened Niji to the ground. Hinata panted as Kurenai appeared and held her. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, sensei." "But what did I just do?" she asked, feeling scared. Azimuth came down on his hover platform. "You, Hinata, are part anodite." "Anodite? I don't understand," Hinata said. "Not yet you don't. But it's time you talked to the one in your life who may know," Azimuth instructed. "Father," she gasped, knowing he had to know something. And so Kurenai brought Hinata up to the balcony as Niji was taken away by the medics. When the sensei and student returned up, they were met by Naruto. "Hinata, you were amazing." "Really?" she asked. "Yeah. Well, except for the whole nearly crushing Niji part, but still pretty awesome." Hinata smiled. "Naruto, arigato." The final opponents were between Gaara and the last IWA Shinobi. When the match began, the IWA Shinobi attempted to attack Gaara by launched boulder projectiles at him using the floor below them. But every time he launched one, sand emerged from Gaara's gourd and shielded him from the attacks. This of course took the competitors by surprise, save for Gaara's siblings. "Sand?" Naruto asked, while on the other side B was also surprised. "Is he manipulating that sand?" Sasuke asked. "Looks like we just found out how he never gets a scratch," Naruto added. "How could he be manipulating the sand if he's not even moving?" Sakura wondered. "I think there's more to it than that," Naruto explained. "What do you mean, Naruto?" Kakashi asked curiously. "I'm not entirely sure, but I think he's got a hidden weapon on him," he thought to himself. "Or inside him," From the other side, B was squinting at Gaara, and thought, ain't no doubt about it. Another voice came into his thoughts, yes. No doubt about it, Shukaku dwells within him. And I'm sure you've noticed the presence of another one of us. B nodded to himself as his gaze were suddenly fixated on Naruto from the other side of the balcony. Gaara squinted his eyes and held out his right arm as the sand started coming together around the IWA shinobi, restraining his arms and legs. Hey, water you, he struggled. Kurotsuka called, it's just sand, can't you break out? It's too strong. Her teammate struggled and started crying as the sand started tightening around his arms and legs as if breaking his bones. I give, he cried in agony. But Gaara wasn't stopping, he just kept his sand grip on his opponent. Hayate stepped in and drew his sword to cut through the sand that was solidifying, and freed the IWA shinobi. Hayate spoke, Gaara is the winner. Gaara frowned as if he wanted to continue to torture his opponent until he died, but vanished in a shunshin of sand back up to his team. Afterward, Hiruzen and the Jonin stood before the final 13 competitors while the other shinobi waited at the side. Congratulations to all of you for making this far. In a month we will have the true finals to the Chunin exams, where I, and the rest of the cage from the other 4 nations will observe with various other lords to determine if you are Chunin material. Study this chart well and know you will be facing. Anko instructed, as they saw a tournament chart with their names. Match 1, Naruto vs Hinata. Match 2, Kankuro vs Jojuro. Match 3, Tamari vs Shikamaru. Match 4, Lee vs Samui. Match 5, Suzuki vs Gaara. Match 6, Watashi vs Shino. Match 7, Kurotsuka vs winner of Match 6. Naruto and Hinata looked worried about fighting each other, while Suzuki was surprised to be fighting Gaara. Hiruzen spoke up, you have 1 month to hone your skills and learn new techniques, and we'll meet at the Chunin Stadium when the month is up. Good luck to all of you. He dismissed them, as some of the shinobi went their separate ways. The last ones to stay were Squad 7 and Azimuth. Naruto spoke to Kakashi, well, sensei, a whole month to train, what are you going to do? Well, Naruto, the Hokage informed me that he's found another teacher for you to help with your ninja skills, he explained. Plus, I shall also be assisting you. Azimuth added. Kakashi turned to Suzuki, we must also prepare you to take on Gaara. He could be a problem to not just you but to anyone who faces him. So what are we going to do? Suzuki inquired. I have a move that you could very well benefit from, their sensei answered. Then let's get started. Suzuki replied. Azimuth. Sakura asked, as the alien turned to her, you said you could also help me get stronger. What did you have in mind? Well, Sakura, we still have plumbers training bases up in space, and I think both you and Ino could properly benefit from them. Naruto, Suzuki, if you like I can one day bring you 2 up there, he offered. Thanks. Naruto thanked him, and Suzuki nodded. But for now, we must plan for the month. Azimuth finished, and they all nodded. When Naruto left the tower with Azimuth, the boy spoke to the alien, Azimuth, did you know Hinata was part Anodite? Not 100%, but I did notice some spark in her eyes, he admitted. How's that possible? Well, maybe if you hurry you can catch Hinata, and both of you can find out. Right. I'm sure Jiji won't mind a little wait. Naruto said, as he took off to find Hinata. Elsewhere, in another building, Orochimaru was meeting with Kabuto, who told him of what happened during the prelims. It's just as you said, Naruto has a device that can turn him into alien creatures. I knew it, Orochimaru said with a scowl, before it shifted into a smile, no matter. We have a month to prepare for everything. And we will acquire Suzuki Uchiha whatever it takes. This will be it for this part. Thanks for watching.